just have to give my thoughts on this story involving Tua Tagovailoa after the news came out that he doesn't have a concussion and the person who examined him, the unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant, was fired following everything that happened on Thursday Night Football. I mean, let's be real. That's common sense that he probably was going to get the axe, but come on now. He got injured on Sunday in that game, and then he got cleared to play on Thursday, and then he had that head injury against the Bengals, and it was spooky, man. I'm an Eagles fan. I have no affiliation with the Dolphins. I don't really care about the team, don't follow them that much, but that game and the way he was laying on the ground, forget that game. Circle back to Sunday when he took that hit. He got back up, shook his head once, and you see that from a lot of boxers. You know, they get a big hit, they go to the ground, and they get back up too soon, and they shake their heads out, try to clear the cobwebs. And that's what one of the announcers stated when he got back up. He shook his head. He was like, yeah, he's trying to clear the cobwebs out. And then he took a couple steps, and you saw his body kind of shift from side to side, and then he fell. And they tried to say that was a back injury. That's what the team said. Their official statement was that was a back injury that caused him to fall down to the ground like he did on that Sunday game. I'm sorry. The eye test is not 100%, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist or a neurologist to look at that guy and see that there's something wrong upstairs from possible head trauma that caused him to fall to the ground in that fashion. A back injury, while very tough to deal with, it doesn't do that to you, okay? And they did the test on him, and I'm reading this article from ESPN. This came out 2 hours ago, okay? They're saying the UNC, the unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant involved in clearing him following that Sunday game, was fired after it was found that he made several mistakes in his evaluation, a league source told ESPN. This is reported by Marcel Luis Jaques. A source said that the NFLPA exercises rights to dismiss the consultant. And the NFLPA and the league each have the right to fire a UNC without agreement from the other party. All right. So you look at Tua. He left the game briefly after having that head injury, allegedly, in Sunday's game, and he came back later in the game. That's what's more disturbing to me than anything. He was taken to the locker room, and they tested him for the concussion, and he returned after passing his evaluation, and then he came back on Thursday and then suffered that hit. And you think of players like Troy Aikman, Steve Young. For Eagles fans, let's go back about 15 years to Brian Westbrook. He had a concussion in a game, I believe it might have been against the 49ers. And then he came back 1 or 2 weeks later, and I don't remember the time frame, but he came back too soon. I'll put it like that. And he suffered another concussion. And it was just a revolving door after that. He could not even come back that season because once you have one concussion, it's like a snowball effect. 2, 3, 5, 10, depending on if you want to keep on playing, if they allow you. You know, after you get the first concussion, your punch resistance, that's the best way I can put it in boxing terms, decreases. So the next punch, even though it's not as hard, it can rock your boat because you've already had that head trauma from the previous knockdown. So that's how it works. And I really feel for Tua. I want him to be healthy. I want him to really think about his future and take his time getting back. He's a young player. He's only 25, something like that. I think he has a long career ahead of him if he takes this seriously, gets the proper rest and recuperation that he needs, and then comes back healthy and then progresses on from the point he was at, which was he had a very good springboard the first 2 weeks with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. But if they mismanage this, they can ruin his career and possibly his life. So I hope they take this very seriously, and more specifically, I hope he takes this seriously because, in my opinion, the Dolphins staff and that organization has shown you that whether they care or not truly about your health, they are not capable of making the proper decisions in the heat of the moment. And we move on to the Dolphins head coach, Mike McDaniel. And this is a problem I have with this, okay? He said, I have 100% conviction in our process regarding our players. This is a player-friendly organization, and I make it very clear from the onset that my job here is for the players. I take that very seriously. No one in the building strays from that. If there would have been anything lingering in his head, I wouldn't have been able to live with myself if I prematurely put someone out there and put them in harm's way. This is a relationship I have with a human being. I take that serious. I wouldn't have put him out there if there was any inclination given to me whatsoever that he was endangering himself from that previous game. End quote. And you have to wonder, how informed and capable is he of really leading this young man, not just as a head coach on the field, but off the field? You have to wonder about that. And I don't want to assassinate somebody's character or really assassinate their credibility, but man, this is a hell of a test. You put his feet to the fire. You're a young head coach, and you are immediately put in the spotlight in a situation that's going to make or break you as a head coach, and not just as a head coach, but possibly as an organization. People are going to look at the Miami Dolphins and say, forget what head coach is there. If I go there and I get hurt, they're going to put me back out there like I'm a gladiator and say, forget it. F his health. We just need to win these games. I don't care about how he's going to be 10 or 15 years from now. That's the narrative that's going to be hovering over this organization until they prove otherwise. Catch you in the next episode. Peace.